All right, so thank you. This is our project on teachers teaching teachers. My name is Chris Seals. I'm a third year PhD student in the Educational Psychology and Educational Technology program. Same as Sarah and Rohit.
My name is Rohit Mehta. I'm also a third-year PhD student in the same program, and I'm also one of the instructors in the Mishra program that we have talked about.
So we're talking about the MSU-Wipro Urban STEM and Leadership Teaching Fellowship Program. So it's a mouthful, but every single word has its meaning and its purpose. It's a partnership between three different programs. Of course, MSU, Wipro, which is a private technology organization in India, and then of course Chicago Public Schools. So these are some of the major figures that play a part who all represent the different partners of the entire program. So Chicago Public Schools, where does that come in? You have to take into mind what we're doing here. So we're bringing in fellows who are teachers in Chicago, specifically at the third largest urban school district in the nation. And we want to teach them how to integrate technology creatively into their pedagogical practices from day to day. So we're taking a lot of things into consideration. We want to bring in teachers who are teaching STEM topics, science, technology, engineering, math. And then we want teachers who are represented from K through 12. So this is a variety, and this is our first cohort. Second cohort has started this year, where we've got 50 new teachers from across Chicago Public Schools. And then you could even see more people who are part of the team. Rohit and I are actually taking this picture, so we're not in it. But this represents some of our team members who are researchers, some of our team members who are instructors. Rohit's an instructor. And then, of course, the teachers who are actually the ones being developed and taught. So what exactly are we doing? By developing these teachers, we have approached this entire project with John Dewey's philosophy of teaching. We want them to learn by doing. Why do we want them to do this? Well, we want them to be able to create technological spaces that are innovative, multimodal, and transformative, and active learning environments. We don't just want the teachers to come to this environment and sit and learn and be lectured to, and we don't want them to do the same thing for their students. So we are trying to teach them how to step beyond that and be creative with technologies that we use every day. So some people in this, or maybe everyone in this room, is familiar with the Tpac Framework. So not only is there content in this situation will be STEM topics, there's also pedagogy. What and how are we teaching our students? And then there's technology. We integrate all three, and we have the Tpac Framework. This is our approach, and this is what we want our teachers to always take into mind when they're creatively integrating technology into their classroom practices. It's finding that sweet spot to really put technology in, not to force it, but to make sure that it works, and using our everyday technologies in the classroom. So big picture is we want teachers to be able to expand and grow in their capacity and abilities to be able to teach. But how do we do that? So specifically, my friend and colleague Rohit will share.
Thank you, Chris. Oh. All right. So, like Chris mentioned, I'm going to talk about what we actually do in this program. So this is a year-long program, and we start in summer. The two components of the program, this is a blended approach, so the two components are online and face-to-face. We start in summer with a 10-day face-to-face meeting in Chicago, and we meet twice for full-day face-to-face sessions in fall and spring. So the face-to-face sessions focus on setting the stage, for example, in summer, setting the stage for the year ahead, and in fall and spring, setting the stage for that semester, or looking back and looking forward. Then, second thing we do in our face-to-face meetings, we model the approach of using Tpac Framework, and how can we use that to foster creativity in STEM classrooms. And third, we let our teachers play with these ideas. And I'll show you how with some of the examples. The second element is the online element. This is where the instructors come in, because we pair up one instructor with 8 to 10 fellows who they work with throughout the year in dedicated one-on-one interaction. So they help the fellows work on their projects, their big ideas throughout the year, helping them, giving them feedback. And I'll also share some of the examples how we do that. So there's a face-to-face component, there's an online component. Okay. So like Chris mentioned, our ideology focuses on using TPACK to foster creativity. These are some of our fellows to teach STEM in their classrooms. So there are two big ideas, two major threads of the projects that we do. These span across throughout the year. The first one is called the Imagine It. The second one is called the Deep Play Groups. I'm going to talk about both of those quickly and how they span out. So starting with summer, and like every semester, summer has a theme of its own. For example, this year and even last year, the theme for summer was wonder. So we start by forcing our teachers to think about the concept of wonder in their subject. How can they inspire curiosity, like Georgina mentioned, among their teachers, among their students, and in their topics. So they start thinking about these big ideas, something that they want to do, or they always thought of doing in the classroom but couldn't. So they start thinking about these big ideas, and we let them play with some of the ideas and do some of the activities when we meet face-to-face so that they address or force them to think about these big ideas. So here's an example of an activity we call Quickfire, which is a condensed activity. We give them like 30 minutes to make this quick video about, say, misconceptions in their topics, or about a real-world application that explores curiosity in the students, and they share those with other fellows in the program via Facebook or Twitter. Here are some of our fellows working on these multimodal projects and recording videos of that. Here's actually, I don't know how I can play this, but here's actually a screenshot of the videos that they actually made. So this one is an example of an asteroid hitting the Earth. The one on the left is a misconception, and the one on the right is actually a solution of how that would actually look like. So they made these stop motion movies themselves. So when they meet face-to-face, they do these smaller group activities together. They work on these videos, these multimodal compositions, and they take ideas of creativity, implementing technology in classrooms, and they use that in their classroom when they go back in Chicago. When we go online, they continue to work on these longer projects, but more individually. And these are some of the examples of the work that they do. So moving into fall, we've turned this into thinking about dilemmas and problems. So they have this big idea from summer, and they start thinking about implementing that in their classrooms. But what kind of dilemmas would they face when they actually go ahead and do this? Because some of these are really radical ideas. So we force them to think about their own challenges. And then we have them go and talk to their colleagues or do a focus group session with their students and try to come up with resolutions or solutions for these problems. Then in spring, we make it about leadership. We force our teachers to actually go and try to implement their big ideas in classrooms. Think of the changes that they wanted and go ahead and implement those changes in their schools. So these are some of the examples of our teachers who did something and shared that with the other fellows or the world outside. And throughout this process, they keep in contact with the instructor. So we are constantly giving them feedback, helping them think outside the box, helping them overcome these challenges or dilemmas that they face. And the second thread was the Deep Play Research Group, which is a special interest group that they make with other fellows in the program to work on special interest topics that they want to explore and implement in their classrooms. For example, maker movement, design-based thinking, or multimodal composition, stuff like that. So these are some of the books that they use. They even interviewed the authors of these books to learn more about the topics. But these are not the only two projects that we do. We have actually created palpable artifacts. These are two books that our teachers created together. And these were actually printed in the espresso book machine here at the libraries. And the one on the right is about what teachers believe in as teachers about education. This went on into the Obama administration, and people there actually read the book and saw what kind of work we were doing. The one on the left is about the lesson plans that the teachers use and implement in their classrooms. So the key ideas to take away about creativity, especially, that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to innovate and improvise. The second key idea, it's okay to rock the boat. It's okay to look for the change that you want to see in the world. And this is actually the book that we use in spring to have them inspired about these ideas. And three key things that we want our fellows to take away from the program is that keep exploring, keep creating, and keep sharing. This is who we are. We are MSU Urban STEM. Thank you.
I'm done.